Today, the 28th of June, Archangel Michael says, I order you to open this now. It's an emergency. The identity of this person who wants to harm you is out. Here is the name. Open immediately, my beloved child. Listen deeply, for it is in this moment that may appear quiet and still. Today, heaven could not wait. Archangel Michael descended not with silence, but with urgency in his wings. The scroll he carried was sealed until now, not because God was unaware, but because the time had not yet reached divine maturity. But today, on the 28th of June, the seal has been broken, and your name has been circled in golden ink. What was once concealed is now being released. There is no fear in this message. Only clarity. Because you, beloved, are no longer walking blindly. The person who has been moving against you, not in the light, but in quiet shadows, has been revealed in the spiritual realm. And this time, heaven will not allow them to go unnamed. Archangel Michael stood at the edge of your timeline, sword lowered not in attack but in confirmation. He had seen enough. He had watched long enough. The whispers, the jealous glances, the disguised intentions, all of it carried a scent. And when the scent reached the courts of heaven, God spoke just one command: uncover it now. My child must not walk in confusion any longer. And so the scroll was unsealed. And Michael was sent. And here you are, reading this message that was never meant for anyone else but you. This person, the one whose name has been spiritually revealed, was not always against you. They once smiled beside you. They once claimed to care. But something shifted when they saw what you carried. It wasn't your success that triggered them, it was your light. The purity in you irritated the darkness in them. You were loyal. You were real. And yet, they hid conversations. They whispered your name into places it didn't belong. They distorted your truth while smiling in your face. But now God is done letting it slide. The revelation is not meant to scare you. It's meant to free you. Because what you couldn't see with your eyes, your spirit already felt. That tightness in your chest. That uneasiness around certain people. That constant second-guessing of yourself. It wasn't paranoia, it was discernment. Your soul was picking up what your heart was trying to ignore. But no more. The mask has been torn. The name has been written. And though heaven isn't asking you to expose them, heaven is asking you to release them. Because they don't have the power to destroy you. They only had access. And that access is now being revoked. Michael says, this name is known now. The one who smiled while planting confusion has been documented in the spirit. And I have been assigned to remove their reach. You do not need revenge. You do not need to prove anything. What you need is peace. And God is giving it to you today, not by controlling them, but by reclaiming you. Your peace. Your time. Your spirit. Your divine inheritance. You will begin to feel it, the release. Certain calls won't come through. Certain texts will slow down. Certain energy around you will shift. That's not rejection. That's realignment. It's God cleaning the room so your next chapter can begin in clarity. You were never meant to walk in circles. You were meant to rise. And now that the name has been revealed, the elevation begins. Say this softly if your spirit agrees: God, I receive this clarity. I no longer give my peace to confusion. I no longer explain myself to hidden enemies. I am protected. I am covered. I am released from the need to know why. I trust you to remove what I could never reach. And as you say it, something breaks. A chain you couldn't see. A fog you couldn't name. A spiritual weight you thought was normal. It lifts. Because the moment heaven speaks a name, every demon behind it loses legal ground. You are not in danger. You are in transition. You are not under attack. You are under reveal. You are not being warned. You are being prepared. And from this moment forward, your name will no longer be spoken in rooms meant to curse you, it will be honored in places meant to crown you. The moment heaven spoke that name, something shifted. You may not have heard it with your ears, but your spirit caught it. A weight lifted. An invisible fog began to clear. And slowly, without panic or pressure, your heart whispered, "It wasn't me. It was never me. It was always them. You didn't fail. You didn't overthink. You didn't love wrong. You simply trusted someone who was never aligned with your assignment." And now, Archangel Michael has stepped forward, not with destruction, but with protection. Not to punish them, but to preserve you. You are not meant to carry people who hide behind love while casting shadow over your light. You were never designed to be a container for other people's broken loyalties. And God has seen how long you tried to keep things together. How you silenced your voice to protect someone else's comfort. How you questioned your own spirit just to maintain peace. But heaven doesn't want peace built on your silence anymore. It wants peace built on truth. And the truth is this: that person was never meant to walk into your next chapter. They were meant to teach you what your discernment sounds like. And now that you've heard it, you can't unhear it. Something in you has clicked. Something deep, spiritual, and irreversible. You are not going back to the version of yourself that made space for sabotage. You are not going back to the circle where loyalty was one-sided. You are not going back to conversations that drained your spirit just to keep false connections alive. No more pretending. No more tolerating. No more explaining your energy to people who are committed to misunderstanding it. Michael says, you are not weak for being surprised. You are strong for surviving deception. And now, I will clean the road ahead. I will sever invisible strings. I will shut doors that still had cracks open. You will not bleed spiritually for people who use your purity as a cover for their envy. This is the beginning of holy distance. Not cold. Not cruel. Just necessary. The kind of distance that gives your soul room to breathe again. The kind that gives your thoughts space to reorganize. You will start to wake up differently. No tightness in your chest. No second-guessing yourself. No heaviness sitting in the room before you even speak. That was never yours to carry. It was always the effect of standing too close to someone whose soul was not clean toward you. But now, the spiritual air is shifting. God is brushing your life clean. He is making space for divine alignment, people who pray for you in private, not just praise you in public. People who don't get nervous when you win. People who feel like safety, not performance. You will not have to beg for love. You will not have to explain why your presence changes the room. The right ones will feel it, and stay. Say this gently in your heart, God, thank you for showing me what I needed to see. I don't carry hatred. I carry healing. I don't want revenge. I want peace. I let go of confusion. I let go of performance. I receive the clarity. I protect my energy. And I honor what you're doing in my atmosphere. And as you say it, something spiritual seals. A door that once creaked open in the spirit is now slammed shut. And the echo of that name, the one Michael revealed, grows faint. Because it no longer has access. The cord is cut. The contract is void. The attack has been overruled. You are not stuck. You are stepping forward. You are not broken. You are becoming new. And everything ahead of you, the love, the favor, the purpose, will now be met without resistance. Because heaven doesn't just reveal to expose. Heaven reveals to elevate. There comes a moment after exposure where the noise fades and the silence becomes sacred. Not the silence of confusion, but the silence of clarity. And you, beloved, are standing in that silence now. The mask has fallen. The false presence has exited. The storm that once disguised itself as friendship has passed. And now you are not just standing in truth, you are standing in yourself. Fully. Freely. Powerfully. And what's coming next is not just healing. It is the return of everything you buried while trying to keep peace with people who were never aligned with your purpose. You are starting to feel it already, that unfamiliar but deeply welcome emotion, peace without apology. There is no weight on your chest anymore. No wondering if you're too much. No overthinking every word. Because the moment heaven exposed that hidden energy, it wasn't just about protecting you from someone else, it was about returning you to yourself. Your strength. Your sensitivity. Your intuition. Your fire. And now that you've tasted this clarity, you'll never go back to shrinking again. Archangel Michael is no longer in battle stance. He stands beside you now with a look of completion, as if he knew you would get here, even when you doubted it. His sword is still lit, but not to fight, now it guards the space around you. That invisible boundary that says, not everyone can sit here anymore. Not everyone deserves access to this version of you. And it's not because you're arrogant. It's because you're finally awake. You are not broken. You were bruised, yes. You were misused, yes. But broken? No. What felt like breaking was actually birthing. And now that the people who tried to dim you are gone, you will see the light you always carried, but now without shadows dancing around it. The world is about to experience the unfiltered version of you. The version that doesn't flinch. The version that doesn't ask for permission to be powerful. The version that knows what God has whispered and no longer needs validation to believe it. There are doors opening ahead of you, not because you forced them, but because now your frequency is clean. Your soul is no longer entangled in energy that doesn't honor you. Your name is no longer tied to people who secretly resented your rise. And because of that, what used to resist you will now welcome you. People will see you and not just admire your strength, they will feel safe in your presence. Because your power no longer protects pretenders. It protects your purpose. And that purpose, it's unfolding fast. You will be called into rooms you never auditioned for. You will speak and others will fall silent, not from fear, but from the weight of truth in your voice. You will step into conversations and things will begin to shift. Because this version of you, this spiritually clean, emotionally grounded, heaven-backed version of you, is unstoppable. Say this with reverence and power: God, thank you for revealing who they were. But thank you even more for showing me who I am. I receive my strength back. I receive my joy. I receive the full weight of who you made me to be. I will not dim again. I will not beg again. I will not be bound again. And as you say it, something settles in your body. Your shoulders drop. Your heart breathes. The fear of being misunderstood vanishes. Because now, you no longer fear being misunderstood by others, you are finally understood by yourself. Michael speaks one more time: you are not the victim of this story. You are the one heaven cleared the path for. Go now, without guilt, without fear. What's ahead of you was always meant to be yours. Now, nothing stands in your way. There is a moment in every divinely orchestrated journey where protection transforms into positioning. Not quietly. Not in hiding. But with clarity and purpose. After the battle has been won in silence, after the exposure has taken place in spirit, heaven no longer just defends you, it begins to announce you. And beloved, that is where you now stand. The winds that once blew against you are now moving with you. The same voice that whispered warnings is now shouting your name in sacred places. This is not about revenge. This is about recognition. What was hidden will now be honored. Not because you demanded it, but because you passed the test with grace. Archangel Michael stands now not as a warrior, but as a witness. A witness to the strength you carried in silence. A witness to the loyalty you held when betrayal surrounded you. A witness to your obedience when no applause followed. And now, by God's instruction, your name is being spoken in rooms you've never entered. Not by men, but by angels on assignment. The divine recommendation has gone out. And what was once denied, delayed, or dismissed is circling back with urgency. Because heaven does not waste loyalty. And heaven does not allow purity to stay hidden for long. There is someone with influence, someone with reach, someone with divine instruction, and their spirit has been stirred. They are about to mention your name. Not out of favor, but out of spiritual prompting. God has placed your name in their dreams, in their thoughts, in their prayers. They don't even fully know why, but they feel led to seek you. And when they find you, the connection will be instant. Not chaotic. Not forced. Just ordained. Because God never just protects, He prepares. And what He has prepared now includes you. This will not look like a spotlight. It will feel like a seat at the table that was always yours. The conversations will shift. The invitations will feel different. The energy around you will carry weight. Because now, you're not walking in protection. You're walking in position. A spiritual seat that cannot be stolen, copied, or imitated. It is yours, not because of titles, but because of timing. Not because of connections, but because of character. You may begin to feel out of place with certain people, and that's okay. What once felt familiar will now feel foreign. Not because they are bad, but because you've outgrown spaces that no longer reflect your calling. Don't fight it. Let the shift happen. You are not being rude. You are being repositioned. Heaven is aligning you with people who won't question your light, but who will honor it. People who don't shrink when you rise. People who pray when you speak. People who carry peace, not pride. Say this softly, with confidence rising in your voice: God, I receive the positioning. I let go of false protection. I open my heart to divine places, divine people, divine plans. I am not afraid to be seen anymore. I am not afraid to rise. I was built for this. I was chosen for this. And now, I'm ready. And as you say it, something happens in the spirit. A bell is rung in heaven. A scroll is stamped. A door is opened. Not with force, but with favor. And behind that door are rooms that have been prepared in your absence. Spaces that already carry your name. Tables that have saved your seat. Because the silence you walked through was never punishment. It was God getting the stage ready. And now, when you enter, it will feel like home. There is a point in every chosen soul's journey where the story shifts, from receiving to releasing, from pain to purpose, from breakthrough to becoming someone else's breakthrough. And beloved, you've just reached that point. What was once survival has now transformed into significance. The betrayal you once wept over? It has now become the foundation of your discernment. The heartbreak that nearly destroyed you? It has now made space for the deepest compassion in your voice. The person who tried to harm you? They were only allowed to rise against you because God was secretly turning your story into a sacred testimony. And now, heaven is using you, not just to be blessed, but to bless others with the clarity and power that nearly cost you your soul. Archangel Michael stands at your right hand, no longer just to defend, but to walk beside you as the atmosphere around your name changes. He has watched the seasons where you sat in silence while others misunderstood your spirit. He saw you absorb judgment with grace, carry emotional weight without recognition, and keep showing up when most people would have folded. And now, with the spiritual path cleared, God is lifting your voice, not to seek validation, but to speak life into people who've been stuck where you once were. Your story is becoming a river. Every page soaked in tears now drips with power. You are no longer defined by what happened to you, you are being reintroduced by what heaven did through you. People will look at you and feel something they can't explain. Some will say it's strength. Others will say it's grace. But you'll know the truth, it's anointing born from endurance. You didn't choose this mantle. It was handed to you the moment you survived what tried to silence you. And now, people will come. Quietly. Respectfully. Spiritually drawn. Not because of what you post. But because of the frequency you now carry. They'll see you and say, I don't know what it is, but I feel peace here. And they'll be right. Because your presence is now more than personality. It's protection. Your name is now more than a memory. It's a movement. You were once surrounded by people who saw your light but didn't value it, now you will sit among people who recognize it before you even speak. You were once afraid to be seen, now you will be called forth. Not to perform. Not to entertain. But to simply be who you've always been, and in that being, others will find their healing. God is not just rewarding you. He is entrusting you. With wisdom. With influence. With people. And He knows He can. Because you didn't let pain make you bitter. You didn't let exposure make you vengeful. You let every dark season deepen your roots. And now, those roots are about to bear fruit, fruit you won't even have to harvest yourself. It will fall into your hands, ripe and ready. And all you'll have to do is lift your hands and whisper, "Thank you, God. I see now why I had to go through it." Say this slowly with a full heart, "God, I thank you for choosing me. Even when I didn't understand it. Even when I thought I was broken beyond repair. I see it now. The story. The strength. The sacred reason. I am ready to be a vessel. Use me. Flow through me. And I will never forget what you carried me through." And as you say it, heaven bows in silence. Because your spirit has shifted. You are not the same. You are no longer in the process. You are the result. And the same name that once wept in secret is now written in bold across heaven's pages as a living testimony. The journey is complete. Not the journey of life, but the journey of breaking, of betrayal, of being misunderstood, underestimated, and misnamed. That part is over. You are no longer living in the echo of who hurt you. You are now standing in the reality of who God revealed you to be. And this version of you, is not just restored, you are reborn. What heaven placed in your hands was never just about money, protection, or even clarity. It was always about becoming. Becoming the living proof that what was meant to destroy you, was actually the soil where your divine legacy began to grow. Now, when people hear your name, they won't just remember what you went through. They will feel what you carry. The atmosphere will shift. Their hearts will quiet. Because the energy around you now carries wisdom, not wounds. Power, not pride. Humility, not hesitation. You are not standing where you are because you fought your way here, you are standing here because heaven guided you. Because even in your lowest moment, your name was being whispered in sacred places. And now, the world will witness what heaven always saw.